Now, even though we're going to be moving on to the 6th season of everybody's favorite hallway pep talk show, The Flash, in a few more months, there's still plenty of questions floating around about plot points and characters from earlier seasons who could possibly return for this season. Case in point, I've been seeing a ton of people asking, especially at Comic-Con this past weekend, whether or not Barry and Iris' future daughter Nora could potentially return, whether that's as we saw her in Season 5 or revamped as a totally new character. Now, on the surface, you might think this is a waste of a question, considering how Nora got herself and her timeline erased in the Season 5 finale, but at the same time though, if this show's taught us anything, it's that a little thing like completely being erased from existence means literally nothing to a speedster.
See, that's the thing about time travel, Barry. The more you do it, the less the rules apply to you.
So, okay, does that mean we'll be seeing Nora again? Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, anything's possible in this show, right? But what if the Nora Team Flash meets up with at some point isn't the same Nora they spent all season hanging around with, but instead is actually Dawn Allen, half of the superpowered crime-fighting brother-sister team known as the Tornado Twins that Barry and Iris had in the comics? Yeah, I know, we already saw Barry and Iris' future kid coming back and interacting with them before she's born, and getting the Tornado Twins now would basically come off like just retreading old plot lines. But at the same time though, we've already had a few different clues spread out across the last few seasons, hinting that we'd be seeing the twins at some point in the near future. For example, in the 8th season of Season 5, titled What's Past His Prologue, Eobard directly referenced the twins by referring to Nora as Dawn, suggesting he's met, or at the very least heard of, the twins at some point in his career as a speedster.
It's, Dawn, if I'm not mistaken. Nora. That's nice. At least you still have one.
Now, obviously, Nora being who she is and not Dawn does imply that Eobard changed the timeline, erasing the twins and replacing them with a daughter that Barry and Iris would name after Barry's mom.
No
But at the same time, given all the other timeline fuckery we got in Season 5, it's not exactly impossible to think that after Nora got erased in the season finale, Barry and Iris would get back on track having 2 kids instead of 1. This idea was actually kinda supported in the first episode of Season 4, titled The Flash Reborn, during Barry's insane rambling. While he was spouting off a bunch of nonsense, we also heard him saying a few understandable lines too, such as, "We're gonna need more diapers."
We're gonna need more diapers.
Now remember, every single coherent thing Barry said during all this rambling was either stuff we'd already heard in the show by that point, like the "I'm not like you, Oliver," or "My dad's innocent" lines from the first season,
I'm just not sure I'm like you, Oliver. I'm just not sure I'm like you, Oliver.
or were references to events that hadn't happened in the season yet, like when Barry was saying stuff he'd unknowingly be repeating during his murder trial.
Your Honor, I'm innocent. I didn't do this. I didn't kill anyone.
So far, that mention that they'd be needing more diapers is literally the only thing that Barry said that hasn't happened yet. You know, aside from the whole stars melting thing, but what the fuck that's actually about, I have no idea. Seriously though, I know a lot of Flash fans, myself included, were thinking he might be saying the diapers line at the end of Season 5, like maybe after all the craziness with Cicada and Eobard, Barry and Iris find out she's pregnant with twins or something, but obviously that didn't happen. So maybe it'll happen in Season 6, who knows? But either way though, who cares, right? I mean, this show's referenced a ton of things that we'll probably never see in the Arrowverse. Who's to say that doesn't apply to the Tornado Twins? And even if they were actually going to appear on the show, what does this have to do with Nora possibly coming back? Well, on top of the references to the twins in the show, we also might have heard from 2 different showrunners that actress Jessica Parker Kennedy, who played Nora in Season 5, could come back to the show in some form or another. I remember hearing in a video a while ago that former showrunner Todd Helbing mentioned that Jessica Parker Kennedy wasn't done with the show and that we could see her in a future season, but I can't find when or where he actually said that or anything like that, so I'm not entirely sure if he actually said that or not. What I do know though is that current showrunner Eric Wallace was being interviewed at the San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend, and he mentioned that not only are there hints about Nora returning in Season 6, but he also wouldn't confirm or deny whether or not that return would be as part of the Tornado Twins.
We ended the season with a pretty emotional finale, news of Nora. Is there obviously a lot of repercussion that we might be able to see her return?
Oh yeah. We're a time travel show, of course. While there are no immediate plans for that, we would definitely love to have Jessica back. She was terrific on the show, just a blessing to join us, and we do have some weird hints this season that you may or may not pick up about how she might return. So keep an eye out for that.
Tornado Twins, you're saying?
No, I'm not saying a word.
Now, obviously, him not saying anything doesn't explicitly confirm that we'll be seeing the twins, or that an actress that was written off the show would definitely be coming back, but at the same time though, you'd think he'd be more upfront about it if she definitely wasn't coming back, right? Plus, it's not exactly like we haven't seen actors on the show get killed off or written off, only to come back and play another character later on. Like how OG Flash actor John Wesley Shipp played Henry Allen, and later went on to play the real Jay Garrick by the end of season 2. So with all that in mind, does this definitively prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that we'll be seeing the Tornado Twins at some point this coming season? Well, not really. I mean, yeah, so far everything seems like we'll be seeing Barry and Iris' future speedster kids, and with all of the expected crazy reality changes in the upcoming Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, Eric Wallace and the writing team would have a great opportunity to introduce new speedster characters that they can explore later on. Maybe they could get tied into a plot line about getting Barry back if he disappears in the Crisis, or maybe he doesn't disappear at all and just accidentally winds up in the far future, kinda like what happened before the Crisis in the comics, and meets the twins for a brief period or something. At the same time though, I think it's a little too soon for the show to just have Barry and Iris' kids show up for whatever reason, if only because we just got a full season of it already. Honestly, assuming the writers are actually moving forward with introducing the Tornado Twins this season, I'm thinking at most we could get like a Revenge of the Sith type thing and see the babies born either during the Crisis or towards the end of the season, with the more grown-up versions popping up in the present, or something like that in a future season. The more realistic scenario though, in my opinion anyway, if the writers are going to move forward with doing anything involving the twins this season, is that we're just going to get a pregnancy reveal from Iris. Like maybe right before Barry has to put his life on the line to save the universe, Iris sends him a message saying something like, "Hey, I know you're about to die or whatever, but I'm pregnant. Oh yeah, and there's 2 of them this time around. Isn't that fun?" Maybe that call could take the place of the message he recorded for Nora in her timeline, meaning he's talking to Iris at the same time we can hear Oliver yelling at him to watch out or whatever in the Nora message. I mean, the date for the Crisis got pushed up a few years, so it's not exactly like he'd be leaving a message for a kid he doesn't even have yet, right? Either way, it definitely seems like the show's been building up to the Tornado Twins, so I'd be pretty surprised if we don't hear anything about them this season. Whether or not Nora herself is repackaged as part of the set, well, we'll just have to wait and see. But anyways guys, that's my take on whether or not we'll be seeing the Tornado Twins in the next season of The Flash. If you guys agreed with anything I said in this video, or if you have your own thoughts you want to throw out there, then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, then go ahead and click that like button, and if you're new, maybe consider clicking that subscribe button too. I've also got links to my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Patreon in the description. You should probably check those out too. And if you want to see more of my content, then you can click the link to my last video. It's right there in the middle of your screen. Alright, and I will see you all next time.